With unquestionable off-road capability and iconic Wrangler-inspired styling, the Gladiator still stands out as one of the most attractive midsize pickups on the market. But what is the Gladiator to live with? How about all the troubles that come with everyday ownership? We present you 6 reasons why the Jeep Gladiator inspires the angriest owner reviews. Number 6. Noise. One of the Gladiator's X factors is the fact that it comes with removable doors and roof panels, which provide a one-of-a-kind driving experience, at least when it comes to this class of vehicles. And while having the opportunity to enjoy open-air rides is a fantastic benefit, it also comes with a couple of big compromises. The biggest one is noise. Removable panels mean that there's no way this pickup can be as quiet as its competitors because we're talking about completely different levels of ceiling. But the problem with the Gladiator and Jeep's quality control in general is that even by the standards of vehicles of this kind, things are far from great. Besides numerous reports about water leaks, these imperfect seals also cause a lot of noise, which drastically impacts the overall driving experience. The Gladiator is noisier than most of its classmates, but removable parts and their sealing aren't the only cause. The Gladiator is a larger vehicle with a boxy shape that doesn't offer much aerodynamics. Furthermore, most versions come with massive all-terrain tires, so it's clear that noise can come from other sides as well. This is particularly noticeable at higher speeds on the open road. Wind noise, tire noise, things can be pretty loud out there, while the truck's off-road focused suspension doesn't help much either, as road imperfection can often lead to excessive vibration inside the cabin. Number 5. Ride quality. Many Gladiator owners like to point out ride quality as one of the key drawbacks. This makes a lot of sense given the fact that the Gladiator is not just a pickup, which traditionally offers a harsh ride, but also a capable off-roader. Solid axles are on both ends for the sake of durability and off-road capability. The off-road tuned suspension also means that there can be a lot of bounce on imperfect roads, but that's just one side of the Gladiator's questionable ride quality. As we already mentioned, the Gladiator usually comes with massive fat tires that can be pretty noisy, but they also offer little to no road feedback, which in combination with vague steering makes the Gladiator not particularly engaging to drive. Of course, we're talking about on-road conditions. Off the road, the Gladiator feels at home, but once you get to an open road and reach higher speeds, the ride can become quite tricky. So tricky that even staying in your lane can be challenging sometimes. On top of that comes the fact that somehow the Gladiator has been misinterpreted by many in the way that their purchase was driven mostly by the styling, while the fact that this is primarily an off-road vehicle was often neglected. That's where most critics about the Gladiator's ride quality usually come from. Number 4. Fuel economy. The Gladiator is a body-on-frame pickup with almost no aerodynamics and standard 4-wheel drive. In other words, no one expects it to be particularly fuel efficient, but the Gladiator is below average even when compared to its classmates. EPA estimations go around 17 mpg city and 22 mpg highway, which is lower compared to most other midsize pickups when configured in a 4-wheel drive variant. For example, the 4-wheel drive Tacoma with its new Turbo 4 engine returns around 20 mpg in the city and 23 mpg highway, while the new Ford Ranger should be even more efficient with an estimated 24 mpg on the highway. On the other hand, a manual Gladiator is rated at 16 mpg city and 22 mpg highway, and what's particularly intriguing is that the Gladiator used to be one of the most efficient models in the class, especially since at the time it was available in a diesel version. Things get even worse with some of the off-road dedicated models. For example, Car and Driver tested the Gladiator Mojave a few years ago and came to pretty interesting results. That model, which is characterized by heady off-road upgrades and altered axle ratio, was able to return just 15 mpg combined, making it as thirsty as the F250 Super Duty. That's 30% down from EPA estimation. Even more relevant is the data provided by owners, who say it's really hard to get more than 17 mpg combined with the standard version of this Wrangler-based truck. Number 3. Lack of powertrain options. We like Jeep's pickup for many reasons, especially because of its excellent off-road performance. On the other hand, we're not happy that while the Wrangler is available in all kinds of powertrain variants, the Gladiator remains limited to just one powertrain option. Namely, while the Wrangler has been offered with V6, Turbo 4, V8, and plug-in hybrid powertrain, the Gladiator currently comes only with a 3.6-liter V6. It's far from a bad engine, but as you've already seen, it's thirsty. It isn't particularly quick either, as 0 to 60 takes about 8 seconds. Most rivals are quicker and more efficient, but most importantly, most rivals are available with multiple powertrain options. The Ranger, for example, comes with a Turbo 4 and 2 Turbo V6 engine options. The new Tacoma comes in 2 Turbo 4 variants and 1 hybrid version, while even the Chevy Colorado's 2.7-liter Turbo 4 is available in 2 output variants. The mitigating circumstance is that soon enough, the Gladiator will also get a plug-in hybrid version, which will increase power, improve efficiency, and even offer a relatively decent electric-only range. Number 2. Towing rig. On paper, the Gladiator is one of the class leaders when it comes to max towing capacity. Jeep proudly advertises the max capacity of 7,700 pounds, but what's important to keep in mind is that it's not all that simple to achieve all these figures. Practically, what you need to do first is to pay extra and get the max tow package, which includes heavy-duty Dana 44 front and rear axles, a 4.10 rear axle gear ratio, and upgraded brakes. Without it, the best you get is 4,000 pounds at a max towing capacity. But even if you get the max tow package, the max capacity largely depends on the trim level you pick. While some models can reach 7,700 pounds, the Rubicon's maximum is 7,000 pounds due to off-road suspension and off-road equipment. The Mojave trim, designed for fast desert trails, can tow 6,000 pounds at best. Besides these issues, it's also worth mentioning that towing with a Gladiator isn't the easiest and most convenient thing to do. One of the reasons is the design of these side mirrors, which don't offer much visibility and therefore control when towing, let's say a trailer. Speaking of towing a trailer, another thing that comes to mind is that the Gladiator doesn't come with a trailer brake controller, though you can pay extra to get one designed by Mopar. All in all, rivals seem a bit more towing ready despite the actual max figures. Number 1. Reliability issues. The fact that we're talking about a rugged body-on-frame pickup with a naturally aspirated engine should translate to a high reliability score, but that's not the case. After all, this is still a Jeep, so it doesn't surprise that the Gladiator is actually the only midsize pickup with a below-average reliability rating according to Consumer Report. So what troubles the Gladiator? Well, one of the things typical for almost every Jeep product is the electrical issues. Infotainment glitches and occasional freezes are common, just like Bluetooth connectivity issues are. Furthermore, the Gladiator had a lot of problems with power accessories, with things like power windows, keyless entry, warning lights, and more. Electrical issues are usually not a critical thing, but definitely have an impact on the overall driving experience. What seems way more serious is the mechanical aspect, and it's not flawless either. Of course, the famous death wobble is there, thanks to the way the front axle is designed and the fact that Jeep engineers never faced this issue properly. The V6 engine by itself hasn't had too many issues so far, but on the other hand, the discontinued turbo diesel had a lot of trouble with injectors, turbochargers, and clogged filters. So make sure to look closely if you're looking for one of these on the used market. To give you a better picture of how unreliable a Gladiator can be, maybe it's best to refer to one Reddit user who shared his experience with Jeep's pickup. He traded his JK for a relatively new Gladiator with just 44,000 miles, and trouble started right away. First, the transmission was replaced, but then oil leak issues occurred, which required the replacement of the gasket on the upper drain pan, dipstick tube, and the main seal. Then, corrosion appeared on passenger door and the hood. Finally, the touchscreen needed to be fixed. The only mitigating circumstance is that everything has been covered by warranty so far, but once it expires and issues continue, we can only imagine how much running this pickup is going to cost. And we didn't even come to, for example, tire replacement, which can also cost a fortune, considering that Gladiator comes with massive all-terrain or off-road rubber. So, with reliability issues in mind and not a particularly great fuel economy, we could also conclude that the Gladiator isn't exactly the cheapest truck to own. It may look great and be an impressive off-road performer, but it definitely comes with a couple of serious drawbacks. Thanks for watching and see you next time.